Hi everybody, it's Nicola here. Today I just want to have a bit of a chat with you really. I recently put up my new tattoo video, and in it I explain about this tattoo here for my daughter Melissa, and I also explain about my semicolon and my mental health basically. And I the response from that video has been amazing. Like, people have been so supportive, they've been so kind, you know, the understanding of mental health and the understanding of, you know, there was no backlash for me being a parent who's had a child forcibly adopted by the social services. And you know, there's a massive taboo about birth parents in adoption cases because we don't talk about them. We don't think about them very often because we've got to believe that they are bad parents so that we can say that we're giving the children a better chance by finding a new adoption family. And you know, you see everywhere posters of, can you give a child a better life? Can you give them more stability that they've never had before? Can you give them love and attention that they've never had before? And the truth of the matter is that not every child that's adopted has been through a bad childhood. Not every child has been abused or neglected in any shape or form. I did not neglect my daughter. I struggled to maintain the home. I struggled when I took her to school or took her to nursery. Sometimes I would end up having a panic attack, and obviously, you know, people and including my daughter would witness that, and it wasn't appropriate for my daughter to witness that, not at such a young age. She was only 4 at the time. She was 2 when I was diagnosed with mental illness, but by the age of 4, and she was starting school, you know, I was still having panic attacks and things like that in the schoolyard. And I fought so hard to try and keep myself as stable as possible, but mental illness is really a difficult thing to have control over, because the thing that you need to control it, your brain, is broken, and it's difficult to use something if it's broken. Like I always say, you know, if a person's lost the use of their legs and in a wheelchair, you don't ask them to go for a run, you know, to get better. So asking someone with a mental illness to think positively, you're asking them to use the one thing that's broken. And if you can't ask someone who's lost the use of their legs or broken their legs to go for a run, then you can't ask someone with mental health issues to think positively, because, you know, you're trying to ask them to use a thing that's broken. But yeah, I guess one of the things that I have learned, and what I want this video to actually be about, is I want people to understand that mental health is much an illness as a physical illness, as a physical debilitation. And and I want people to stop beating yourself up if you have mental health issues. We carry a lot of guilt when we have mental health issues. We think, why can't we get better? Why can't I think positively? Why can't I get out of bed today and just, you know, get dressed and go make dinner and look after my kids? And why can't I do that with a smile on my face? What is wrong with me? And we beat ourselves up. And one of the things that I have had to learn over the last sort of, well, 6 years now, because it was 2012 I was diagnosed, is I've got to stop beating myself up. The big wide world out there is hard enough as it is without me beating myself up over it. I mean, there are times when my mental health is so bad that I will literally just spend a whole day crying. I can't get out of the house. I don't open my blinds so people can look in. I don't answer the telephone. I don't open mail. And I beat myself up. I beat myself up because I think, why can't I be a better mum? You know, why didn't I fight harder for my daughter and stop the adoption from going through? But the truth is, I fought so hard. I fought for a whole 2 years to stop my daughter from being adopted. And actually, social services tried to take her once before, and when I was first diagnosed, they tried to take and have my daughter adopted, and I beat them. I won. I managed to beat them in court and get my daughter home and stop an adoption order from going through. And I got my daughter home out of foster care, and she was home with me for another 10 months. And then she started school, and my anxiety, my depression all came flooding back, and I relapsed. And that time, social services just, they went for me. And because I'd relapsed, the court kind of decided, you know, it's not stable enough for your daughter. So when it came down to it, they asked me to agree or disagree with giving the court order, and I decided to do neither. I was neither going to agree nor disagree, and that way then my daughter would know that I never agreed to her being adopted, but I didn't disagree either to stop her from finding a stable home and a loving family, even though it meant losing her. But yeah, just, you know, we beat ourselves up so much. Oh, I didn't lose weight this week and I've been trying to lose weight. Or I had a pizza this week and I'm supposed to be on a diet. Or I didn't exercise today and I'm supposed to exercise at least 3 or 4 times a week. Or I didn't study for that exam that I've got tomorrow. Or, you know, I didn't take the car for a service. Or we beat ourselves up about so many things in life, and we shouldn't, because you know what, we are just trying our best, and nobody tells us, like, yeah, we know how to lose weight and we know how to study for an exam and we know how to parent, but it's okay if sometimes we make mistakes, and it's okay if sometimes we go, you know what, we didn't do that our best, because we're human and we make mistakes. But the good thing about it is we generally learn from them. We learn from our mistakes, and we've just got to remember that life is hard. It's not easy. Some people look like they're sailing through it and don't have any issues. But the majority of us, more often than not, we have a hiccup, we have a fall, we have we have a stumble through life. Some of us more than others. Some of us deal with mistakes or issues, problems in life quite easily, and others, they take a little bit longer to recover. A breakup of a marriage, the loss of a child, or not passing that exam, or not passing our driving test, or having our children shout at us, "I hate you!" The truth is, though, at the end of the day, as long as we get through life being kind and caring to each other and helping each other when we see each other fall, that's the most important thing. It's okay to fall. As long as you have people around you that can help you back up, you're okay. You will be okay. And even if there isn't anybody around you, and there wasn't for me, when I was going through everything with my daughter, I stood alone. I stood alone in that court. There was only my solicitor stood beside me. And that day when the judge, when he made that order to have my daughter adopted, he told me I was a good mum for putting my daughter's needs first. But that somebody else was going to have to look after her for a while. Even the judge could see that despite me having my child removed, I loved my child. And I made her number one, even though it broke my heart. I broke down into tears after that court. My wonderful solicitor took me for a slice of cake and a cup of tea because she knew I had no one. I had no one stood beside me, no one supporting me, no one there to pick me up. I was on my own. I became suicidal afterwards. I kept ending up in hospital from doing stupid things. And then one night I was scrolling through Facebook, and I was a member of a mental health support group on Facebook, and I saw someone's post, and it seemed like they were a bit down, like they needed someone to talk to. But I scrolled past, and then a few moments later I was scrolling back through again, and I saw no one had responded to that post. And even though I was in the darkest place of my life, wanting to die, ready to die, I didn't want anyone else to feel that way. So I offered some kind words, and I spoke to them. I answered their post. We got talking, and 3 years later I'm married to him. So you see, even in your darkest moment, reach out. Reach out and help someone, because you never know if they might help you back. Stop beating yourself up. Stop beating yourself up that you didn't do what you'd planned to do perfectly, or that you didn't lose weight this week, or that you didn't pass that test, or even if your marriage has failed, or you're facing a child being taken away from you. Stop beating yourself up. Just keep trying. Keep being loving and caring and looking out for those around you. Because in the end, your kindness and your honesty and your goodness will pull you through. You'll get there in the end. It doesn't matter if you're overweight. It really doesn't. If it's because of your health and you're feeling unhealthy and you're feeling like you can't do things that you want to do, then fine, lose weight. Pass that driving test. If you want to learn to drive, drive. But don't beat yourself up about it anymore. Because we all make mistakes. And sometimes we need 2 or 3 goes at something before we eventually and finally achieve it. And that's okay. Because we're human. And life is for living. And none of us are perfect. And when we stop reaching for perfection, get your words out, Nicola. When we stop reaching for perfection and just start reaching for living our life, mistakes and all, when it comes to the end, when we are ready to meet our Maker, we can look back and say, you know what? It was a fun ride. Stop beating yourself up. If you gained weight this week, doesn't matter. If you didn't pass your test, doesn't matter. You'll get there. I know you will. Be kind to each other. Love each other. Surround yourself with people who raise you up, not bring you down. Even if that means cutting out some people that you think should always be there for you. If they don't enhance your life, then walk away. Because it's your life and you have to live it the best way you can. So, have fun. I'll see you soon.